Hey guys, so chapter 4.4, part 2. Now, part 2 is still the completing the square part. However, now we're dealing with the application questions, the word problems, okay? So, let's start with example 6. So, example 6, supermarket cashiers try to memorize the current sale price while they work, and so on and so on. So, now the percent is P, and the number of hours is T, and we are given P equals negative 40 T squared and plus 120T. Now A says what is the greatest percent of prices memorized. So we are looking for the max P, right? So we are looking for max P. Now as soon as you see max P, what you need to think of it is vertex. Okay, remember from the vertex we can easily get what the max or min is. So let's then take a look at our equation. It is in a standard form, so we need to change this to vertex. So do the same thing as before. Whatever the number for the t squared or the x squared or whatever the variable square, you factor that out. So negative 40, then t squared minus 3t. Negative 40 t squared. Now this t term has to be divided by 2, and then you square that. So small remark, negative 3 divided by 2, and then we square this. This becomes 9 over 4. So plus 9 over 4 minus 9 over 4, and then we have negative 40 t squared minus 3t plus 9 over 4. Now this time when this negative 9 over 4 comes outside, we have to multiply it by negative 40 as well. So we get then positive 90. So the perfect square trinomial becomes 3 over 2 squared plus 90. Therefore, max is at 3 comma 2, 3 over 2 comma, up, okay, comma, 90. So the max P is 90, okay, at t equals 3 over 2. So when it says t equals 3 over 2, that's when it happens. And this automatically answers your part B. So this was part A, by the way. So part B says, how long does it take? Well, when does it happen? When does that maximum of P happens? Basically is what B is asking. So then we have it takes 3 over 2 hours or 1.5 hours. Okay, and that's it. Now then let's take a look at example 6. Oh, sorry, example 7. So for the example 7, we have a ball, we are throwing in the air. So example 7, we are throwing this in the air, and we have an equation given to us. H equals negative 5t squared plus 10t plus 35. Now, as soon as you see that, now you automatically think that, okay, I may complete the square to find the vertex form to find what the max value is. So let's take a look at A. A says find the maximum height. So we are looking for maximum of height, maximum of y value, maximum of h value, whatever that is on the left side. If you are looking for the max value, you are completing the square. So A, we are completing. So negative 5, take it out, factor it out, and then minus 2t plus 35 outside, minus 5, t squared minus 2t plus 1 minus 1. Now, from now, you should be able to get these two without a problem. So I'm not going to go into detailed explanation now. So negative 5 t minus 1 squared plus 5 plus 35. So I have negative 5 t minus 1 squared plus 40. So my vertex is at 1 comma 40. So when does the maximum height occurs? Well, the maximum height occurs at, so max h is 40 at t equals 1. So it takes 1 hour. If it is in hour, actually it says seconds. So it takes 1 second to get to the maximum height, which is 40 from the ground. Okay, it's from the ground. Now then, let's take a look at B. B says, how long does it take? Well, we already know. T equals 1, so 1 second. Now on the test, I want a proper sentence for this. Okay, it takes 1 second to reach the maximum height, 40 meters. Now C, how high is the balcony above the ground? Now remember, the balcony, we are standing on the balcony. We are holding the balcony. Oh, not holding the balcony, sorry. We are holding the ball on the balcony, assuming that the ball is on the balcony. Okay, so that means our T equals 0 because we haven't thrown the ball into the air yet. Therefore, this means our T equals 0, so substitute it in. Okay. Then we have H equals 35. Therefore, the height of the balcony, so height is 35 meters. So I want a proper sentence on the test, okay? Now, then the D, this can be a bit tricky, however, it's quite simple. So it says, what would be the equation if heights were measured relative to the balcony rather than to the ground? So we are measuring the height from the balcony instead of the ground, okay? So there are two ways. Now, if you are just looking at the original equation plus 35, this was the height of the balcony. This was the height from ground to the balcony, meaning from ground to where the initial ball's height is. However, if it is relative to the balcony, that means we are now measuring the height from the balcony, not from the ground. So if the ball is on the balcony, what is the height from the balcony? Well, it becomes 0. So this becomes H equals negative 5 squared plus 10t plus 0, but we don't have to write it, okay? If you are using a vertex form, which is now H equals 5, negative 5t minus 1 squared plus 40. Now from the balcony, which is 35 meters above the ground, now 40 meters above the ground, what's the change? So 40 meters is the height from the ground. Now if the balcony is at 35 meters, and we are measuring the distance between the 40 meters, which is the maximum height of the ball in the air, and the balcony, well, it is 5 meters. So this becomes negative 5 t minus 1 squared plus 5. Okay, so either this or that can be your answer for D. Now then, let's take a look at number 8. So number 8 is typical question for the application part. Now it says a lifeguard marks off a rectangular swimming area at a beach with 100 meters of rope. What is the greatest area of water she can enclose? So in this case, this type of questions, it's not really clear what's given to us and what formulas, what equations to use. In that case, what I want you to do is I want you to make a point form for what's given and what to find. Okay, so the first thing, what's given? We have a shape. So this is the shore or the beach, and this is the beach, and this is the area, okay, swimming area. So we have, let's say, I'll call the length 1 the long one x, shorter one y, okay. So we have the perimeter because it says using 100 meter of rope. So 200 equals x plus 2y, because if I add all these lengths, I should be getting 200. So that's the first one. The second one is that we know area of this shape is x times y, right? And what to find is, well, simply we need to maximize area. So we need to find vertex. Okay, so then let's solve it. So when you're solving it, solution, I have to use these two equations. Okay, now as soon as you see, you should be able to notice that, oh, I can isolate to x, so that it becomes x equals 200 minus 2y. Once I have that, substitute this x and 200 minus 2y into the x and the area function or the equation. So then A is 200 minus 2y times y. This gives me negative 2y squared plus 200y. And remember, we're looking for the vertex, so complete the square again. So negative 2 is factored out, y squared minus 100y. Then do the same thing as before, y squared minus 100y. Now this time, this divided by 2, 50 square, 2500 minus 2500. So negative 2, y squared minus 100y plus 2500. Now plus 5000. Remember, this comes outside, but when it comes outside, it has to be multiplied by negative 2, which is in the front. So negative 2, then y minus 50 squared plus 5000. So the vertex is at 50 comma 5000. Therefore, the max area is 5,000, square meters. Okay, so that's how we do question 8. Now the last question, which is question 9. This is another tricky question too. Okay, it's really simple and fundamental. However, if you don't know what's going on, this is pretty much dead. So the example 9. Now example 9, it says 2,000 people, $10 per ticket, and if the price increases by $1, I guess. Yeah, it says $1. Now there will be 100 people decrease, or 100 number of tickets sold and decreasing. So in this type of revenue question, okay, you need to know that revenue equals number of tickets, or the people, or whoever that you're selling to, times price of the ticket or burger or whatever the thing. So R equals then number of tickets times price. So our job is to find the expression for number of tickets. So here we start with 2,000 because we're selling a ticket to 2,000 people. Well, not a ticket, but tickets to 2,000 people. However, it says decreasing how many? 100 every time. Okay. And then what about the price? The price says, well, it's decreasing, or it's increasing one at a time, and it starts from 10. So every time, okay, n is number, okay, every time price increase, $1, $100 decrease. If it was decreasing by 200 people, this 100 will be 200. Now, if it is 100 people decreasing for every $2 instead of $1, then this will be 2n. Okay. Now, in other way around, I can also say, if I decrease the price by $1, then this becomes minus n, and it increases, well, the number of tickets sold increases by 100, then this will be positive 100 times n. Okay, so you should be really careful. Okay, if it is increasing, then you're adding. If it is decreasing, you're substituting. Okay, then all you need to do is you just need to expand this equation, and you're almost done. So I have then 20,000 plus 2,000n minus 1,000n minus 100n squared. So I have negative 100n squared plus 1,000n plus 20,000. So we need to now complete the square because we are looking for the greatest revenue. So these two, I have now negative 100 is factored out, n squared minus 10, n plus 20,000 outside. Negative 100, n squared. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. So negative 5 squared then is 25. So negative 10n plus 25 minus 25 plus 20,000. So then I have negative 100 n squared minus 10n plus 25. I don't need this negative 25. It has to come outside. So when it comes outside, it has to be multiplied by the negative 100, which is in the front. So then it is plus 2,500 plus 20,000. Then we're almost done. So this will be n minus 5 squared plus 22500. So 22,500. Now, so the vertex is 5 and $22,500. Now, what does this mean? It means we are going to have the max revenue, okay? Max revenue of $22,500 when we increase the price by $5, okay? Because this is the dollar amount, right? This is how many increments of $1 increase in the price happens. So it happens 5 times. That means it's $5 increase. And this is the max revenue. So that is $22,500. Okay. So now the question says, what ticket price will the result? So what ticket price? So the max revenue happens when the price increases by $5. Therefore, the price is $15. Okay? Now, that was example 9. You should be now fully aware of how to complete the square in order to do these word problems, especially example 8 and example 9. Okay? All right. Good job, guys. See you tomorrow.